You walk into a room for the very first time, but you're struck by an overwhelming, eerie feeling that you have done this exact thing before. This is déjà vu, French for already seen. It's one of the most common and unsettling reality glitches we experience. But is it a memory error? A glitch in the brain's temporal lobe, as some researchers suggest? Or a simple neurological short circuit? Today, we are opening the archive to investigate the leading scientific theories and find the source of this strange temporal echo. This phenomenon is far more than simple, vague familiarity, that feeling of, "This reminds me of a place I once knew." Déjà vu is a profound, jarring conviction. It is the absolute certainty that this exact moment, the light, the sounds, the words about to be spoken, has already been lived. And just as quickly as it arrives, it vanishes, leaving only a strange, lingering sense of unreality. If you have felt this, you are not alone. This is not a rare anomaly. In fact, it is a near-universal human experience. According to extensive research aggregated in psychological journals, it's estimated that nearly 70% of the population has experienced déjà vu. The phenomenon is most potent and most frequent during our most formative years, primarily between the ages of 15 and 25. It's a signature of the young, active brain, a brain still wiring itself, and at its peak of memory formation and sensory input. But this only deepens the central mystery. Why would the healthiest, most active brains be more susceptible to this temporal glitch? For centuries, the experience was relegated to the paranormal, dismissed as echoes of a past life or a premonition of the future. But in the 21st century, neuroscience has opened the case file. The investigation now points not to the supernatural, but to the intricate, split-second clockwork of the brain itself. The evidence suggests this feeling originates in the very centers of our memory and emotion, the temporal lobes. The investigation begins in the temporal lobe. This section of the brain, nestled behind the temples, is not just one structure. It is a vast, interconnected network. It's the central hub for processing sound, understanding language, and, most critically, for forming and retrieving long-term memories. When this system experiences a momentary hiccup, the first theories suggest our perception of time itself can fracture. This brings us to our first file, the dual processing theory. This model proposes that déjà vu is a simple and mechanical timing error. Our brains constantly absorb the world through multiple sensory pathways. Information is processed, split, and reintegrated. But what if those streams fell out of sync, even by just a few milliseconds? Imagine you are in that new room. The information from your eyes, the light, the color, the shape of the furniture arrives instantly. But a second, parallel stream of processing, perhaps the one encoding the context of the room, is minutely delayed. For a split second, the brain processes the same moment twice. The first pass is registered as now. The second, delayed pass, arriving just milliseconds later, is processed by the brain as in the past. The result? A new, current experience is incorrectly tagged as an old memory. It's a neurological echo, a perceptual ghost. While this attention-based theory is plausible, it doesn't fully explain the deep, unsettling feeling of déjà vu, the emotional weight that comes with it. For that, we must look at a more dramatic neurological event. The most powerful clues we have come from patients with a specific condition: temporal lobe epilepsy, or TLE. Researchers in neurology noticed a startling pattern. In the moments just before a seizure begins, known as an aura, many TLE patients report experiencing an intense, overwhelming, and often terrifying wave of déjà vu. According to a landmark 2012 study published in the journal Medical Hypotheses, this pre-seizure aura is effectively a storm of disorganized electrical activity, a misfiring of neurons originating in the exact same brain regions responsible for memory and familiarity. This is not a guess, it's an observation. By stimulating these same regions in healthy patients during brain surgery, neurosurgeons have been able to artificially induce the feeling of déjà vu. Now, this does not mean that experiencing déjà vu means you have epilepsy. Far from it. The current hypothesis is that what TLE patients experience as a major storm, healthy brains experience as a single, harmless spark. It's a momentary, random misfire in the temporal lobe, a micro-seizure that lasts only a second. It disrupts the memory encoding process, scrambles the new versus old signal, and fades, leaving only that strange, echo-like feeling. But this leads us to the most recent and perhaps the most compelling explanation. This theory unites both the memory and the misfire. It suggests déjà vu isn't just an error, it's the brain catching the error. This is the conflict theory, championed by researchers like Dr. Akira O'Connor at the University of St Andrews. This model suggests the brain has two different, but related, memory systems. First, you have the parahippocampal cortex. Think of this as the brain's familiarity detector. It gives you that gut feeling, "I've seen this before." Second, you have the hippocampus, the detail recall system. It remembers the specific what, where, and when. Usually, they work in perfect harmony. You see your friend, and the familiarity system says, "I know them," and the recall system says, "That's Tom. I saw him last Tuesday." But in déjà vu, this system breaks. A random neural spark, perhaps from the temporal lobe, causes the familiarity detector to misfire. It suddenly yells, "This is familiar," even though you've never been in that room before. But your rational brain isn't so easily fooled. The hippocampus, the detail recall system, immediately fires back. "No, it's not. I have zero specific memories of this place." This conflict is the feeling of déjà vu. It is the conscious, jarring sensation of your brain's fact-checking systems arguing in real time. It's the feeling of holding two contradictory thoughts at once. This feels familiar, and I know it is not. The unsettling, glitch feeling is not the mistake itself, but the sound of your own brain spotting the inconsistency. So, what is déjà vu? It is not a glimpse into a past life. It is not a premonition of the future. And for the vast majority of us, it is not a sign of a dangerous neurological condition. The evidence suggests déjà vu is something far more rational and far more reassuring. It is the conscious echo of a healthy mind detecting its own minor error. When that random misfire in the temporal lobe creates a false sense of familiarity, the brain's higher-level systems, the cognitive fact-checkers in our prefrontal cortex, step in. They immediately spot the paradox. They recognize that this feeling of familiarity does not match the reality of the memory, which is absent. That unsettling, glitchy feeling is your brain's check engine light. It's the sign of a healthy, robust conflict monitoring system working exactly as intended. It's the brain telling itself, wait, that doesn't add up. Let's re-examine that. This is precisely why the phenomenon is most common in young, healthy, and active minds. Their conflict detection systems are at their peak. So, the next time you are frozen by that strange temporal echo, you are not losing your grip on reality. You are simply witnessing the most rational part of your brain catching a ghost in the machine. The brain is not a perfect machine, but it is a rational one. We have closed the file on Déjà Vu, but the archive is still open. There are countless mind glitches left to decode. Comment below with the phenomenon you want us to investigate next. Subscribe and help us build the archive.